Hi everybody, it's Richard here and welcome to my first anniversary video. It's the 20th of January 2020 and on the 20th of January 2019 I uploaded my first two videos on the VC. They were both competition videos, one for Robert Z and one for Hannah the Omaha Introvert. I've since deleted those videos because they're absolutely awful. But I've kept the actual video on my computer, so I know that it was made on the 20th. Now, funny enough, I have actually had a YouTube channel since the 20th of the 1st, 2014. And so it's actually my 6th anniversary of having a YouTube channel. Now, for those first 5 years, all I ever uploaded was about 14 videos, music videos, with a picture in the back. You know what, the very first one was a 1977 version of Telegram Sam, and I did a few for the congregation. I did an edit of David Bowie's Heroes. I edited myself on Nero. Can you still get Nero? It's on my computer, but I don't know if you can still get it. But my most successful video ever was one of those music uploads, which was the Pretenders doing a version of the Beatles' Not a Second Time, which for some reason attracted 20,000 views. Can't believe it, but there you go. Now, whenever I started watching the VC, it must have been about a year and a half or so before I actually uploaded a video, and about at least 50% of the videos I was watching was about the Beatles. So, taking in that my biggest viewed video, which is Not a Second Time, taking in the fact that most of the videos I was watching was about the Beatles, I am a Beatles fan. I'm not the biggest Beatles fan in the world, but I'm a big Beatles fan, but not the biggest. I thought for this 1 year actually making videos, I would do rank the Beatles albums. Okay, so I'm going to rank the 11 albums. I know there's going to be people in America going, shock, horror, what is he talking about? But I'm not going to include this. I'm sorry folks, but I love this really good album, but to me this is a really good 1967 compilation album. I wouldn't get rid of it at all. I love it, but I'm only going to rank the UK albums. It's a capital album, is a comp. Brilliant, but I just can't put it anywhere on the list because it's unfair on the other albums. I'm also not going to include this, and the reason why is part compilation again, because there's Yellow Submarine on it and All You Need Is Love on it. Half of it, of course, is the George Martin score. And there's only 4 new songs, so Yellow Submarine is not included. So I'm only including the 11 albums. And my least favourite, what I will do actually, sorry, before I go ahead, is tell you my favourite song and my least favourite song off each album. So my least favourite album is their debut, Please Please Me. I've always said in a few other videos that of the huge big bands like the Beatles, the Stones, the Kinks, the Who, the debut albums have been okay, but not that great. This is the same. It's from its time, and I can understand why this was so successful because nobody had heard this sort of music before. But to me, it is a little bit dated back to the very early 60s, that sort of beat sound. My favourite song off this is the single Please Please Me. I love it. But my least favourite song off this, and this may be a surprise, is There's a Place, because I think it sounds totally out of tune. I think the vocals are awful in it. It's better than some of the cover versions are better than this. I just don't think it's all that good. So overall, it's not a bad album. There's no really bad Beatles albums, I'll tell you that. It's not a bad album, but it would be bottom of my list. So that's number 11. Number 10, I'm going to go with Beatles For Sale. Again, it's riddled with covers. They actually look tired on the cover of this, and I think it was getting to them a little bit. So they were touring, they were making so much music, and they were almost exhausted, and they do look exhausted. My favourite song off this is 8 Days a Week. My least favourite is Honey Don't. But there's some other really good songs. I'll always loved I'll Follow the Sun and What You're Doing, big McCartney fan. Also loved I Don't Want to Spoil the Party and No Reply. So this is my number 10, Beatles For Sale. Number 9, I'm going to go with their second album with the Beatles. Incidentally, this is my favourite Beatles cover. I don't like the Meet the Beatles cover. The bluish cover, I think this is absolutely fantastic looking cover. Yeah, this is half covers as well, but the covers are better. Side 1 of this is better than side 2, if I'm being honest. I do, some of the covers, I do really like the Money, That's What I Want. But my favourite song off this is All My Loving. The first 3 songs on this are absolutely brilliant. It won't be long, All I've Got to Do and All My Loving. And the fourth one, Don't Bother Me, is actually very good as well. So my favourite song is All My Loving, but my least favourite is a very standard version of Chuck Berry's Roll Over Beethoven, which I think is lifeless. So this is my number 9. Number 8, and I'm going to go with A Hard Day's Night. And this is their first album, obviously, that they wrote all the songs, and the majority of them are written by John Lennon. Yeah, it's a good album. The first side is obviously from the film, and the second side is extra songs. But funny enough, my favourite and my least favourite both come from the second side, and my favourite is I'll Cry Instead. Now I know that in America they got an extended version. I think, well, I'm not too sure whether it is the case, but I think it's just a cut and paste for an extra verse. But I remember seeing Mean Mr. Mayo saying that there is a slight difference. I can't tell the difference. Maybe there is, I don't know. But I really think that's a real jaunty number. And my least favourite is When I Get Home. I've never really liked it. It's okay, but it's not great. So that's my number 8, is A Hard Day's Night. Number 7, and I'm going with Let It Be. This could have been really good if John Lennon had taken this seriously, because I don't think he did. He was too interested in Yoko at the time, and that's what's missing off this, is good John Lennon songs. Across the Universe is brilliant, but it was an old song from '68. The McCartney songs off this are magnificent. Two of Us, Let It Be, Get Back, I've Got a Feeling, and Long and Winding Road. So McCartney is carrying in this album, and you can see by the video that he's the only one that's got any interest. He's taking control, which the rest of the guys are not happy with. But thankfully, you know, whenever they abandoned the sessions, they got back and they did Abbey Road. But I still do like this album. It's just that John Lennon's contributions are not great. My favourite song off this is actually Two of Us, and my least favourite is One After 909. If it wasn't good enough for Please Please Me or With the Beatles, how could it be good enough for Let It Be? So that is my number 8, I think. Let me see. 2, 3, 4. Yes, number 8. Number 7. And I'm going to go with Rubber Soul, and a lot of people might have this higher. I think when this is really good, it's really good, but there's a couple of songs I don't particularly like off it. It is more folky than anything they've done, and it is a change in style from the Help album, although this is closer to Help than it is to Revolver. But yeah, it's a good album. My favourite song off this is In My Life, and my least favourite is The Word. But I do love I'm Looking Through You. I actually like Run For Your Life as well. I think it's not a bad little song. Drive My Car is a great opener. You Won't See Me is a great ooh la la song, but it's a little bit too long. But yeah, it's an excellent album, brilliant album, but from now on all the albums are brilliant. So this is my number 7. Number 6, and I'm going to go with Help. Yeah, I think this is slightly better than Rubber Soul. It's from the same year, '65. This has got all songs again. Side 1 are from the film and side 2 are the extras. Now I know a lot of people think that the side 2 songs don't fit on this album and some of them fit better on Rubber Soul. I have to disagree. I can't bear to think that It's Only Love and I've Just Seen a Face are on Rubber Soul. Sorry, can't. For me, their side 2 of Help. My favourite song off this is actually I've Just Seen a Face. I just can't help it. I love it. It's a bouncy, jaunty number, absolutely magnificent. And my least favourite off this is Dizzy Miss Lizzy. But there are other fantastic songs off this as well. Obviously, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away is really, really good. And The Night Before, which was always my favourite, but I think I really do prefer I've Just Seen a Face. I love Ticket to Ride. I'm not a huge fan of the single Help itself, but it's not bad. And I love Ringo's Act Naturally. So this is my number 6, I think. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I haven't written them down here. So number 5. No, that was number 5. Sorry, I'm getting all confused here. Number 4, and I'm going to go with the White Album. Now 4, 3 and 2 can be changed about whichever mood I'm in, and at the moment I'm not really in the mood for the White Album. It is a really good album, but there is filler in this, I have to admit. My favourite song off this is Martha My Dear. I know, weird choice. And my least favourite has to be Revolution number 9. Sorry, but it is. But I love songs like I'm So Tired, Happiness Is a Warm Gun. I love also Back in the USSR going into Dear Prudence, which is excellent, and even Ringo's Don't Pass Me By, although I can't stand Good Night is an awful song, really bad. So that's my number 4. Number 3, and used to be my number 2, and that's Revolver, but I think I have overplayed this a little bit. Lennon is great on this, his songs are great, but they're all sort of one-dimensional rock guitar numbers, but they're fantastic. McCartney's all over the place, and mixing the two together makes it an absolutely perfect album. Taxman and Love You Too I think are great George Harrison songs. My only complaint about this one is I would have dropped I Want to Tell You and put on Paperback Writer and made Rain the single even. So just to give McCartney one song with a bit of an electric push on it, whereas most of his are piano or string laid. My favourite song off this is Here, There and Everywhere, which is one of McCartney's greatest ever ballads, and my least favourite is I Want to Tell You. I love Ringo's Yellow Submarine, and I absolutely adore Good Day Sunshine. That is such a really good feel good song, excellent. She Said, brilliant. And Your Bird Can Sing has got that fantastic guitar riff. It's a simple song, but it's really good. And Tomorrow Never Knows I do like, but I think it's a little bit overrated. But there you go, and that's my number 3 is Revolver. Number 2, I am going to give it to Sgt Pepper. Yeah, this is a fantastic album. This is one of those albums that, you know, if you're going to make a compilation tape of the Beatles, any Sgt Pepper song you put on that tape always seems out of place. It has to belong to this album and only this album. It doesn't blend well with other Beatles songs. It's an album in its own right, it's got its own identity, and I think it's fantastic. My favourite song off this, another controversial one, is Fixing a Hole. I think it's magnificent. And my least favourite is Within You Without You. But I do love, obviously, A Day in the Life as my second favourite. And I also love the two other John Lennon ones, Good Morning, and Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite. I've got to like, with a little help from my friends. I used to dislike that song so much, but I've actually got to quite like it now. Lucy in the Sky, maybe a little bit overrated, prefer the Elton John version, but it's getting better. She's Leaving Home, When I'm 64, they're all magnificent songs. But as an album as a whole, it is brilliant, and that's my number 2. Which means my number 1, no surprise, is Abbey Road. I think this is a masterpiece, and I've always said that this is the 3rd best album ever released. Side 2 is absolutely immense. It really is. It's immense. It's hard to explain how good it is. My favourite song off this album I'm going to give to, it's difficult to actually pick here. I'm going to give it to Here Comes the Sun, because it's just a magnificent piece of work. And it's hard to pick my least favourite because I do love them all, but if I had to really pick one, I would maybe say Oh Darling. Even though the remix of it improves it even more. I Want You She's So Heavy is great, Come Together is great. The medley from Because the whole way down. In fact, I think the whole of side 2 is the medley. You know, you can break it down from Golden Slumbers Carry That Way at the end, but for me, if you start playing side 2, you have to play it all. It's a fantastic album. The remix is really good, and a lot of the bonus tracks on the remix is excellent as well. So that's my number 1 Beatles album. Okay, so that's my video for my first year in the VC. I want to thank everybody that has even switched on one of my videos. I want to thank those that have subscribed, and I know I've lost a few subscribers as well, but thanks for calling by and checking out, even if you didn't like. And I only think I ever got one really bad review which went into the spam, whenever the guy said that I was on all the drugs of the day, and I must have been high out of my mind, and I thought it was hilarious. So I want to thank him as well. So anyway, that's me. 20th of the 1st, 2020, my first year. Thanks a lot, folks, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.